I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Yonker?
Here.
Trustee Panito?
Here.
Trustee Berg?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Glatz?
Present.
Trustee Curran? Absent, and President Vandenberg is also absent.
Okay, item number 1, consider approval of agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda items as written?
So moved.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2, consider approval of the minutes of the regular village board meeting held on December 18th, 2018, and the special village board meeting held on January 3rd, 2019. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 3, Trustee Brady.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion considering recognizing promotion of Officer Melissa Bonerick to Sergeant. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Officer Bonerick has served
All
as
those in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Aye.
I'm in a hurry to get you sworn in.
Go ahead, Bill.
Best thing we did all year.
And it's only the 15th. The officer has served as a full-time police officer for over 14 years, 11 of which have been with the Village of Tinley Park. Over the course of her career, Officer Bonerick has acquired numerous specialties to include DARE officer, bicycle officer, field training officer, field juvenile officer, evidence technician, and domestic violence officer. She is also an integral part of the active shooter instructional team and is certified ALICE instructor. Officer Bonerick has also assisted with the Citizens Police Academy and has received numerous letters of appreciation from citizens for exceptional performance. She has been a spokesperson for the police department and the village during the police orientation process by giving her perspective on life as a female police officer and being the wife of a police officer. She enjoys speaking to students and others interested in law enforcement field during various career day events. Officer has previously served as a police officer for Palos Hills Police Department and was a part-time officer for the Tinley Park for 1 year. She is a graduate of Governor State University, where she received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and has attended the 2-week Northwestern University Center for Public Safety School of Supervision of Police Personnel. Clerk Theron, we'd like now for you to swear in the police sergeant, Melissa Bonerick.
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park, the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police sergeant, according to the best of my ability, so help me God, so help me God.
Chief there. Chief. Go on down into the room.
Say a couple words, feel free if you want.
My entire family is here. My father and his wife, my mother and her boyfriend, my 2 brothers. Such great friends. My lieutenant from Palos Hills, when I started out, was my lieutenant. She's here in such great support. Wonderful friends that have supported me throughout this journey. Thank you everyone for coming. My daughter Samantha. She's very excited. So, thank you everyone. This is a great accomplishment. I'm very proud to be standing up here today.
since you made that comment on how far you took along and the family that supported you, I think we need a picture of the family that's helped support her and got her here today. So let's bring the family up. Brothers, come on down. You picked on her.
Don't know if anybody's in that overflow. There's a lot of them.
Well, the family's up.
Patriots fan building. Oh.
Item number 4, Clerk Therian. Back to ceremony for police officers Dominic Anzilla and Austin Andrews.
I'd like to ask Officer Andrews to come forward, please.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police officer according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Chief.
On my honor, I will betray my badge, my integrity, my character, for the public trust. I will always have the courage, to hold myself and others, accountable for our actions, I always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency I serve. Congratulations.
I've been trying to get a full-time police officer position for a while now, and this is a big opportunity with a wonderful department and village, and I just want to thank my family for all the support over the years, and yeah, looking forward to get started.
Come on, Mom.
Brother Jack, my dad, and my Aunt Maureen.
Well, they're here. Have them come up for a picture. Come on.
Don't be shy.
You warned them, Chief.
Do you want me to hand it to you?
Officer Manzella?
I, Stephen,
I, Dominic
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of police officer
the duties of police officer
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God. On my honor, Betray my badge,
I will never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
for the public trust.
for the public trust.
I will always have the courage
I will always have the courage
to hold myself and others
to hold myself and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution,
I will always uphold the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the agency I serve.
and the agency I serve. Just want to say thank you to the Village of Tinley Park. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I want to say thank you to my family. I got my mom, Tracy, my father, Lewis, my Aunt Brenda, my Aunt Eve, who also works at Tinley. We're the best co-working duo right now. My Uncle Dan, my Aunt Helen, my sister Erica, my sister Nicole, my girlfriend Taryn.
Come on down. Moms, aunts.
I usually not like the guy who starts.
Yeah, that's good though. Congratulations. There they are.
Yeah. Everybody wants to hide it. That's a good one. Kids are 18, just it goes like that.
I know.
Item number 6, or
Before we
item.
do that, hold on a second.
Sorry, I had one more comment. I was nervous standing up here and talking, and my number one supporter is my husband. And evidently I failed to say him first, so I apologize. But he is my number one supporter. He is going to support me through my shift change and my lack of sleep and help me with my daughter because everything is turned upside down now with my new position. So I love you. Thank you for all your support.
Good recovery. Go ahead, sir.
Item number 5, conduct a swearing-in ceremony for firefighters Joseph Moscata, Nicholas Smith, and Joshua Schwartzentruber. Madam Clerk?
Firefighter Mosqueda, please.
I do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of firefighter
the duties of firefighter
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Don't sit down. Still gotta get the chief in there.
One more. All right. And the fire department oath of office. Before I do that, I'd just like to real quickly introduce Joe to the village of Tinley Park, his brother and sister firefighters who have joined us in the back here. A small sampling of our on-duty crew this evening, and Joe, as well as the other two firefighters that join us tonight. Joe becomes the 667th member of the Tinley Park Fire Department, followed by 668, 669. So welcome and congratulations to all of our new members coming in here. But Joe comes to us from the Oak Forest and Oak Forest and Poston Fire Departments, bringing 2.5 years of experience to the fire department here. Joe is a lifelong Tinley Park resident and a graduate of Tinley Park High School. We're very excited to join us and share his expertise and work here within the village. So congratulations. The fire department oath of office. I state your name.
I, Joseph Moscato,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the rules and regulations and practices and procedures
the rules and regulations of the practices and procedures
of the Tinley Park Fire
of
Department,
the Tinley Park Fire Department,
and I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as a probationary firefighter
as a probationary firefighter
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities. Thank you all for coming out. The fire department for showing support. I'm here with my parents, Fred and Karen, Jenny, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend Becky. So thank you all for coming out. I can't wait to celebrate.
Family, haven't you caught the gist that everybody gets a picture taken with the new officer? Come on down. Have you not caught that
Congratulations.
I
I, Nicholas Smith,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of firefighter
the duties of firefighter
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And for the fire department introduction, again, before we conduct our oath of office, I'd like to introduce firefighter Nick Smith, the 669th member of the Tinley Park Fire Department to join us here this evening. Nick comes to us from the Chicago Fire Department, a 5-year veteran of the fire department, coming out to share his expertise with us here. Again, one common thing that I found in all of the bios that I had firefighters prepare for us this evening, like myself and like many of the men and women that we have in the back, all of them as small children dreamed of being a firefighter, and Nick is no exception to that rule of being able to live his lifelong dream, working in a couple of different departments, and we're very, very proud and excited to have you join us here. So,
Glad to be here.
thank you, Nick. Welcome. I state your name.
I, Nicholas Smith,
Do do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the rules and regulations and practices and procedures of the Village of Tinley Park.
the rules and regulations and procedures.
Your next. Very good. And that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of probationary firefighter
of probationary firefighter
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
My daughter Lisa, my sister Tracy, my daughter Alyssa, and my daughter Natalie.
You didn't talk about that part,
Firefighter swords and shooters.
I, Joshua Schwarzenegger,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of firefighter
the duties of firefighter
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right. A couple interesting things on Josh's little bio here, introduction for you. Josh will become the third generation of Swartz and Troopers to become members of the Tinley Park Fire Department. So great credit to the family there, and we're very, very proud to have you join the ranks of us here. A little bit of his background joining us here. Again, he's very proud to join us here this evening, again being a third generation firefighter. His grandfather served with the fire department, and his father, Ted, has been a lieutenant for over 20 years here with the fire department, so following in a great lineage here. He did comment that he was practically born within the Tinley Park Fire Department, so he really didn't have a choice to pick up any of the other badges available here in the village. So he got the right side of the aisle there when it came to that. Again, he looks forward to raising children that will look up to him as much as he looks up to his father and his grandfather. So, well spoken. Now, for Josh, I'm going to read the entire oath and have him repeat it. Okay? I state your name.
I, Joshua Schwarzenegger,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
and the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the rules and regulations and practices and procedures
the rules and regulations and practices and procedures
of the Tinley Park Fire Department,
of the Tinley Park Fire Department,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of probationary firefighter
the duties of the office of a probationary
to
firefighter
the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, firefighter 670.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. The guys in the back especially. they're definitely, they worked with me previously, they're gonna be working with me in the future. So I guess my career is kind of in your guys' hands now. I'd like to thank my family for coming. My father, Todd, my mother, Sheila, my brothers, Tanner and Caleb, my sister, Abby, my grandmother, Sarah, my aunt and uncle, Nissa and Mike. I think I got everybody.
Your fiance?
My fiance.
Here we go. Just sit next to Melissa. All right. Well, let's get them all down. It's down for a picture. Do you people not realize that? Come on. Squeeze in like your family. Does anybody else need to be sworn in?
And it's changed your mind.
Only took me a half hour.
You made it.
6. This day was 5. Yeah. Swartz and Zinger Cooper. Yes. Yes. Yes, she is.
Hi, Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia? Alicia?
I knew I was so worried about the speech. I knew I'd forget something. And then I thought I was going to
I do not think so. I think so. Just
Everybody sleeping?
All his comments. It's good. That's good. Yeah, but
Item number 6, I'd like to make a motion to consider the appointment of Leisha Cooper to the position of Accountant 2. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The village conducted a recruitment for Accountant 2 and received a response from 24 applicants following interviews. Leisha Drew Cooper was selected for the most qualified candidate to assist the finance department. Ms. Cooper is a CPA, a graduate of the University of Illinois, and has over 20 years' experience in accounting field, holding several roles including accountant, controller, and auditor. Is Leisha here? Come on up if you want to say a couple words. Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Leisha Cooper.
Right here? Yep. Okay. Hi, I'm Leisha Cooper. Just thank you for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. I'm excited to get started. So,
Thank you.
thank you very
Welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes, Brian, I'd like to make a motion to move item 11 up. They traveled from Washington last time to come to...
A second. Can we get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks. The petitioner, last time they traveled from Washington to come to the meeting, and it was canceled due to a lack of quorum. And then the next meeting ran an hour late because of the special meeting. Well, that's why we moved this meeting up, so they can carry on. Number 11, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2019-0-002, granting a special use permit for a substantial deviation from the Brookside Market Plan unit development to allow a 940 square foot building addition, facade changes, and to permit a third drive-through restaurant at 7228 West 191st Street, formerly known as the Bank of America building.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Mike. The petitioner, Blake Purnell, is seeking a substantial deviation from the Brookside Marketplace PUD to permit the vacant former Bank of America building to be expanded and converted to a multi-tenant commercial building that includes a Jimmy John's drive-through restaurant. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on January 3rd, 2019, and voted 7-0 to recommend the special use for a substantial deviation in accordance with the plans as listed in the listed reviewed plans and findings of the fact in January 3rd, 2019 staff report. Brian, this ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Yonker.
Yay.
Trustee Panito.
Yes.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Item number 7, receive comments from staff.
Just real briefly, wanted to just mention a couple significant recognitions that the staff has recently, which we'll be talking about more in the future. One is that we recently were notified that we received the first ever GFOA Budget Award, which is a significant accomplishment for the Treasurer's Office and the staff, and there'll be a future presentation on that, and I think it says a lot about the budget process and what we put together. And secondly, we recently found out that we did receive our reaccreditation as the Economic Development Organization. Again, this is a very rare honor. At one point, I think we were the only one in the state that had it, but it's two things that I think say a lot about what our staff is doing and accomplishing.
Any other staff?
Yeah, I just have one quick announcement here. The Village of Tinley Park, in conjunction with Cook County Department of Transportation and Highway, has scheduled a public information meeting for 175th Street, Ridgeland Avenue, and Oak Forest Avenue roadway construction project. The public information meeting is set for Tuesday, February 5th, 2019, from the hours of 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Tinley Park Village Hall. We'll have the meeting will take place in the Kelson Center rooms A through D. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss the proposed improvements, the project schedule, obtain public comments. Exhibits will be displayed and representatives from the Village of Tinley Park, the Cook County Department of Transportation, and a project consultant team will be present to discuss the project and answer questions that you may have on the project. So just another reminder, it's Tuesday, February 5th, 2019, from 4 to 7 p.m.
Thanks, Kevin. Donna?
I would just like to let you know that the Downtown Tinley Irish Parade is scheduled for Sunday, March 10th. We have a new step-off time of 1 p.m. Information is available on the website. We currently are seeking participants and sponsors. So again, March 10th, 1 p.m.
I know the Magnuson project over on 191st, was previously called the Residences. I know a lot of the public have questioned when this project will begin construction. We had a meeting last week. We have a final resubmittal on engineering, and I expect the foundation permit to be issued within the next couple weeks. And then it'll probably be about a month or two after that before we'll see it go vertical. We also have the demolition of the property at 6700 174th Street. That was the piece of property right behind the boulevard that the village recently purchased. We'll be issuing an RFQ or RFP on that demolition process. And then the Community Development Committee last week did give staff direction on short-term rentals. So we will be working on the text amendments and bring that to the Plan Commission on February 7th. We do have a cancellation of our next Plan Commission meeting this Thursday due to a lack of quorum. And that's it.
Any other staff?
Hey, Dave, I want to ask you something. To clear up that last meeting that we had, who's the one that directed you to schedule the December 18th board meeting in executive session?
Well,
you said that the clerk
it was
made
a
the agenda.
consensus of the board to have that meeting in early January.
So the board called you to have that meeting? Someone had to call you to schedule the meeting. I didn't have an email on it. I remember that I expressed concern that we weren't having it.
At that meeting, again, this is an executive session discussion, but there was a consensus to have the meeting right after the first of the year. I think we called around the trustees and determined that that was the date that was best for...
No, I'm talking about the 18th, Dave. The December 18th. That meeting was originally canceled.
Oh, okay. So I'm not sure what's your question?
Who directed the staff to put that meeting on?
Okay, the December 18th meeting where
Correct.
we had, that was the regular board meeting.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that was, okay, there was multiple items on that agenda.
Last time we spoke, it was canceled.
It was
So I'm trying to
canceled.
say how it changed.
It was canceled. Yeah, there was some items that came up that the mayor spoke to me about.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah.
Perfect.
there were multiple
So the mayor
items,
spoke to you,
okay.
thanks. Thanks, Dave.
Item number 8, receive comments from the public. Anyone wish to address the board, please step forward.
Hey, I just want to, Mr. Conlon, you said last meeting, or the special meeting, we could cancel the Melody contract without recourse to the village?
We don't have a contract.
Or the agreement. So Melody, if we sign this agreement, which we did, I guess, that expires in 6 months, we can cancel that and start over. Is that right?
What do you mean cancel it? I don't understand the
Stop,
question.
end it. Don't continue the agreement.
The agreement lasts for 6 months.
Right.
Yes.
So Melody can put in time, money for the next 6 months, and we can stop it.
What do you
and
stop?
not continue the agreement in 6 months without recourse to the village.
Correct. It doesn't automatically renew.
All right. I just wanted to have it crystal clear.
Okay.
Yeah. So we could stop this, and we're not going to get sued. There's no promises being made.
The agreement that was signed is
Yeah.
for 6 months.
That's it.
That's it. The board could extend it. The board doesn't have to do anything, but the agreement, the term of that exclusive negotiating rights agreement, which is all that it is for 6 months.
Right.
Yes.
Does it start January 3rd or 4th, Pat?
The day of execution, I don't remember off the top of my head. One of those
So
days.
it's one of those days.
Yeah, sure.
But we could stop it, and they could say,
But
hey,
when you say stop,
I put in all this.
when you say stop it, I guess I'm confused when you say stop it.
Right. Not continue it?
It expires in 6 months.
Right.
On its face, the term of the agreement is for 6
It
months.
automatically expires, but the village can vote to approve a new one or
Extend it.
switch.
Sure, but that would have to come before the board.
Right.
Everything like that, correct.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Trustee.
A couple things I just wanted to bring up about the board going forward with this negotiation, that I'm assuming a document was signed? Was a document signed between the village and the
The agreement that was provided at the last meeting was the agreement that was signed.
Right, you signed an agreement, so we are held to something, but no money. We're not spending any money in the village. No legal fees. We're not paying anybody. Is there money exchanging hands? Are we paying for anything through this? How much?
Well, I mean,
is
there's
it?
going to, sure, I mean, we pay for the village attorney, there'll be other consultants.
What's your estimate on the cost of all of this for 6 months to us?
I don't have an estimate.
We don't have an estimate?
No.
We have no idea how much this would cost us.
We haven't even had first meeting with the
Okay.
developer yet.
I mean, obviously, you know how much we're paying in taxes. My house is almost at $10,000 now. I don't have a big house. I have a 3-bedroom house, $10,000. It doubled since I moved in here, not even 20 years ago. These rush decisions, these hurry up, nobody knows when these meetings are because we cancel every other one. To rush it through like this was ridiculous. It's questionable. All these different things are questionable. And I'm not sure why you would even push it through. Something came up last night in our ECC that made me start thinking about where this, the question was, where did all the senior living come from? that wasn't in the FAR report. All of a sudden, it kind of switched, and they brought that in. Did that come from something we don't, other than the FAR report, that we wanted to put in all the senior living? Does anybody know?
I mean, this is
something
what
we
the
wanted?
developer proposed that.
Okay,
So,
so
yeah,
just
we
not
did.
with the FAR, because that wasn't part of that, right?
Well,
This was just something.
Yeah, we
other?
told them the FAR was essentially a guide, but we were looking for ideas outside of what was in the FAR report.
Okay. The only thing is, I think about where this location is by the train station and how important it would be for people to travel down, all the professionals that we're going to pull into our town with all this new development we have going on. That property there, we're going to put in senior living and baseball fields. And I'm thinking, okay, the seniors, all the seniors that I know, they want it quiet, they want it peaceful. Do they want kids screaming, the games roaring, the lights on them? For this to be together, it just is a kind of, I worry about this combination. I also think we're giving up some locations by that train station that we should be looking to pull in professionals, young professionals. We don't seem to, like, the whole village doesn't have the same plan. We're going into two different directions. Even I kind of, last night in ECC again, we're not talking about branding. We're talking about what businesses are we going after, but we're not talking about the music brand. We should be going out after music businesses. I mean, not everything has to be music, but we should be pushing that. That's what it has to be in our DNA. That's what they reported, the consultant that we paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to. So we really got to use some of this. When I look on the website for the 3 different proposals, one is talking about all the different things they did, the history. The other one's just talking about the people. I'm not sure the comparison. When I trying to understand your decisions of why you would pick that one, I just don't. The other thing I wanted to mention, today I was reading about this dog that got saved. Awesome. It was just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I think about the character of those people that put themselves at risk for that dog. That character needs to be in everyone sitting up here making decisions for us. Last week, and the mayor was really for him, so I'll have to tell Trustee Yonker because he's sitting there, it was so disappointed to watch our mayor try to blame the clerk for a meeting, and not one person stood up for her. I was disappointed, except you're right. Most of the people up here on the board did not speak up for her behalf.
I'm still a little confused about some of the things from the Melody Square agreement from last week. There's discussion of TIF funding. Now, would that TIF funding be coming out of one of the current TIFs, or would this be a new TIF?
There was
Mr.
a
Bettenhausen?
new TIF created a few years ago that's going to help, that will help support this project.
Okay.
But could I just add, we didn't strike any agreement with Melody Square last week to give them any TIF dollars. So I just want to make that very clear. That the
Okay.
agreement that was done last week does not commit the village to give them any TIF dollars or things like that.
Okay, so they're not going to bill us for the work they're doing on
No.
this negotiating for an agreement?
No.
They're doing like pro bono or just kind of
I
that's...
wouldn't call it pro bono, but this is the risk they have to take in order to see if there's a plan they can meet with this board. But we didn't sign a TIF agreement with them last week. I just want to be clear on that.
Okay. I really hope the village, really considers other ways to get the site cleaned up. I mean, it has been many years now. I don't know if anyone's ever looked into the possibility of, maybe working with an environmental group to bring an environmental lawsuit to compel the state of Illinois to fulfill their moral obligation to clean up the site. I see here on the executive session, it looks like we may be talking about the purchase of lease or real property. I just want to know, are we going to get clarification at the next village board meeting as to what was discussed at this executive session, in regards to the Tinley Park Mental Health Center land, what we're considering doing? Are we, if we are considering going forth and obtaining this land, we're doing that via a referendum, I would hope. If you're going to try and put all this extra liability on the taxpayers, which I certainly hope you're not going to do, hope we get the state of Illinois to clean it up first. We need to let the citizens decide this by referendum, not by rushed trustee decisions. So, thank you.
Councilor Conley, actually, it just popped into my head. Wasn't even going to speak tonight. On the BKD matter, when Trustee Mangan changed some of the stuff, I think you said you were going to look into it. Is
We are, and we're still talking to people involved with it.
Okay, because I didn't see anything on the website or anything like that. Okay, thank you.
Trustee Yonker, can I mention just a couple? Sure. One is the committee meetings that were initially scheduled for next week, because of some scheduling conflicts, we're going to move to the 5th Tuesday, the 29th. So, and I want to just clarify a little bit more with Trustee Glotz's question. So what happened was with the meeting on the 18th is that the mayor had asked me to talk with the trustees about whether they wanted to have that meeting. There was mixed opinions from the board as to whether we should go forward with it. So that's why the decision was made to go forward with it. So,
okay.
Hi, just a couple comments from me today. On the Tinley Park Mental Health Center, I know we didn't sign up for anything specifically with Melody Square, but I really urge you guys to, as you're looking at this, consider the housing mix. We've got subdivisions that are still underdeveloped. I live in one of them, in Brookside Glen. It's certainly developed a lot less fast than it was supposed to. And I think we're going to be in trouble if we go in with a housing mix that Melody Square proposed. On item number 11, which I already went kind of through, I do really like the adaptive reuse of the Bank of America building. I think you guys did a great job on that Jimmy John's project. I'm excited about it. I think that'll be great for Brookside and for Tinley Park as a whole. Item number 12, the hardware costs for the CAD, RMS, and MTC, so the computer aided dispatch. I'm worried that we're kind of jumping into buying more hardware that we're going to have to manage as a community for another 6 years. We're basing kind of our decision on a study from 2012, and we're getting a like-for-like replacement of that hardware. Cloud computing has come a long way since then, and there's cloud solutions that even this company that we're going with, Superium and Central Square, provide, where they advertise on their website that it's a less cost of ownership to use their cloud solution. So I just want to point out some of the benefits of cloud computing. There's high availability from it. You get geographic resiliency, enhanced cybersecurity, scalability and redundancy, and with zero capital investment up front. And instead we pay for the services that we use from that particular company. So as you guys are looking at that agenda item today, I'd urge you to consider maybe looking in a slightly different direction, even with the current vendor that we're using. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry, I'm trying to read this off my phone. Is there anywhere in the proposal that Melody Square submitted what the total cost of their entire project will be? Is there any number? And granted, I know it's not set in stone. It's just put out there as a proposal. But was there any hard number as far as what the costs would be? Do you recall?
Well, again, there's numbers in there for costs, estimated incentives, but I think, as we're saying, we expect this project, as we go through this, there will be changes in the cost. There will be, the request for an incentive is exactly that. It's a request.
And I understand all of that. I'm
Yeah.
just curious as to, because they are, in their package, they put down $69 million as
Right.
what they want in incentive.
That's a request, yeah.
I'm curious, because there is a formula to that whole system, and I'm just curious. I mean, is there estimated to be $200 million, $300 million, $400 million? Does anybody know? Do we have any idea whatsoever what the total cost of their project is?
Do you mean their cost?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
100 million for the entire development?
I think so. I'm double checking now on the website.
Thought that's what their incentive increment is what they,
Okay.
That was 100
yeah.
and 156, wasn't it?
no, 152 was
152
That
and
was Urban
150.
Street.
152 was Urban Street.
Yeah.
100 million was Melody Square.
So Melody Square is stating that this entire development will cost them $100 million. Correct? Is that what it is?
It's just, it's.
Does that sound right?
The early, I think
And
he's looking
just
at-
by the numbers that they've put out. So let's do the math.
Right.
They're asking for a $69 million tax incentive. Anybody? 69% of their development they expect to get back from our increment, which they predict to be $100 million. 69%. The average tax incentive that is given to a developer is anywhere between 17 and 20%, is the standard. 69%. And then this is who you chose? It's outrageous that you would even consider this. The second thing, and Brad, please correct me if I'm wrong, I texted you earlier today about this and then followed up with a second text. For residential tax increment financing, and this is right out of Melody's proposal. For residential tax increment financing districts, 35% of the increment has to be set aside to fund the incremental cost of education for students resulting from housing in the TIF district. This is according to state law. Not all of that 35% may be needed because the state may be paying for part of that, although the state doesn't seem to have any money. So if you look at 35% of the $100 million increment, $35 million has to be set aside for any students that development may produce. 35 million and 69 million is $104 million. We're now in the red by $4 million. And you think this is a great project to vote in. I'd suggest you all to do the math and think twice about this. I'll be honest with you. My father was in construction. He was a builder. He was a developer. If he were here today, he would probably die again because this is utterly ridiculous what you have put us in. You have put this village in harm's way. Again.
What we learned last week was that the agreement that has been voted on is everything's negotiable, correct? Everything's going to be negotiable with this new contract with Melody Square?
I'm sorry, what was?
Everything's going to be negotiable with the new contract with Melody Square?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to, obviously, they presented a concept to us. Some of, I think, what's in there will certainly stay in there, but we'll certainly be looking at what's the best for the village as well as, you know, what's going to fit in the market, so.
So with everything being negotiable, the amount of houses, the amount of commercial space, whatever's going in there, I think it was, you know, honorable that they put in a lot of requests that the village residents had requested, but a lot of them just seem to be a lot of half-baked ideas and just trying to appease, you know, the major crowd. I don't have a problem with that, but I think what most of the board missed last week was the fact that most of the residents just want a full remediation. So since everything's negotiable, I think that should be highly considered and at the top of the agenda, so we're not building on top of contaminated land. When we also look back, when we picked a team that hasn't worked together at all things considered, I think that, you know, what we did was we picked a developer who hasn't worked together before. So if everything's negotiable, I just don't understand why we picked a team that hasn't worked together before over a developer that has 25 years experience. So what we really should have voted on last week was experience.
Anyone else? Not item number 9.
More, right?
Brian, I'd like to ask the board if I could get 6 minutes.
Just to go ahead and get started.
All right. Since Mr. Carr stepped out, Mr. Brady or anybody on the Public Safety Committee, or Mr. Carr, I got a question for you. Okay, on this EMS contract, why are we now being billed? I mean, we're being billed now if a resident gets transported. It is, for an ALS call, it's $13.50, or if it's an ALS, it's $14.50. Why did we all of a sudden now pay more than Orland Park pays when it comes to being transported to the hospital?
I don't have the fees in front of me, but it's not more than Orland Park.
You sure about that?
Yep.
How about this? How about, do we take any village residents to collections?
According to the contract, they are not supposed to.
But yet we allow the contractors to send out threatening messages, threatening letters to residents.
Well, we had a couple that I was in contact with, and we cleared that up.
Cleared that up, huh?
Yes.
You know, I don't understand for 1 minute how you bring a contractor in, okay? We all know, pays their people $12 an hour maybe at most. Comes in, funnels money to our board members. So we have that conflict. We then have a contract set up where, you know, it says in black and white that we don't take our people to collections, but yet you allow the contractor to send these messages. Now, you say you fixed the problem, but the problem is the problem never should have even happened. And how do you not sit there and hold the contractor accountable? I don't understand. We just don't hold nobody accountable no more for threatening our.
You were involved with the
I was.
committee.
Yeah, I was.
You're fully aware what the pay was. You're fully aware what the contract was.
Did I not ask for 50,000 and I got stuck with 43?
Can you just direct the comments to the board? And it's not a question and answer. I don't want to get in the middle here.
Well, okay, now here's another thing. We're coming up to an election, right? We got an election coming up. 3 independent candidates currently right now are trying to basically prove that the signatures they got are their signatures, correct? So we have to come to hearing after hearing, and to come to find out that it's not just our signatures, you know, that are validated, but what we have is we have a certain, how do I say it, a certain political entity in town that likes to call themselves Tinley One. So they have this group that they set up. Their leader, or I should say both their leaders, we come to find out, pick 3 candidates. 3 candidates now, I find out, same objectors that objected all 3 of us, guess what? We find out that they're all friends. One of them looks like they're a sister to one of our current candidates on Tinley One. So I would like to understand, being a resident, going around to almost over 500 doors, how is it possible that these objections all just don't get tossed out and tossed? I mean, it's absolutely disrespectful.
Mr. Swick, the chairman's asked me to answer. We have the electoral board proceeding. It's a separate proceeding. It's quasi-administrative and judicial. You know, it is not this board. And then, remember, we're here to talk about village business. So
this is village business.
You're very close to being over the line. And when you're talking about politics and things like that, that's not appropriate for here. We have it, but I'm just saying, the electoral board is different from the village board.
But you know what, though, Pat? To me, that's garbage. Because I'll say point blank. You got Tinley One candidates, Facebook friends with same people who objected to all 3 of us. I won't go specifically who's friends with who, and then family members on top of it. And then we got a lawyer who knows who he was paid by, sitting there all three objectors don't come and sit down and tell us why they
Right,
objected.
I'm saying those are all issues that you can or you could have and brought before the electoral board. And maybe
No, I know.
can, and maybe
I
can.
just want, I would like to bring it up because there's more people here than there are at the hearing. Now, there may be certain individuals that are, supporters of Tinley One that are there, okay? But at the same token, I want to make sure that all of the village hears this, because this is a concern. It's a big concern. We got a political entity trying to do a hit job on three people, on three independent candidates. That's never been done before in the history of Tinley Park. And that's not a problem. That's a huge problem. More problem than any of this other BS that goes on around here. It's a joke. Right, Mike?
All right,
Isn't
thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Anyone else?
No, thank you. All three of us independent candidates want to thank
Okay.
Tinley One.
Okay. Anyone else care to address the board? If not, item number 9. The motion to consider approval of the following consent agenda items. Have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Brian.
Do I have a second? Please, hand up.
Second.
Madam Clerk, can you read these into the record, please?
Item A, consider adopting resolution number 2019-R-002, authorizing the provisions set forth in the Will County Stormwater Management Ordinance. Item B, consider request from Father C.C. Boyle Council 4698 Knights of Columbus to conduct a tag day on Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st, 2019, at certain intersections in the village of Tinley Park. Item C, consider request from St. Coletta's of Illinois Foundation to conduct a raffle from Friday, February 1st, 2019 to May 18th, 2019, with the winner being drawn at St. Coletta's of Illinois, 18350 Crossing Drive, on May 18th, 2019. And item D, payment of outstanding bills in the amount of $2,838,554.37 as listed on the vendor board approval reports dated December 21st, 2018, December 28th, 2018, January 4th, 2019, and January 11th, 2018.
Does anyone want anything removed off the consent agenda? If not, give a roll call, please.
Trustee Yonker.
Yay.
Trustee Panito.
Yes.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Item number 10, Trustee Glatz.
Would like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2019-0-001, granting a special use permit to allow a fire station use with certain variations at 7825 West 167th Street.
So moved.
Thank you, Bill. The petitioner, Village of Tinley Park, is seeking a special use permit to continue the use of a fire station in the R4 zoning district and to grant site variations at the property located at 7825 West 167th Street. The special use permit and variations will allow the village to redevelop the property with a 10,000 square foot, one-story fire station. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on January 3rd, 2019, and voted 7-0 to recommend the special use permit for a fire station and variations in accordance with the plans as listed in the listed reviewed plans and findings of the fact in the January 3rd, 2019 staff report. Brian, this ordinance is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Give a roll call, please.
Trustee Yonker.
Yay.
Trustee Panito.
Yes.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Item number 12, Trustee Brady.
I'd like to make a motion to consider adopting Resolution 2019-R003, authorizing a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and Superior Central Square Technologies for the purchase of replacement servers for the 911 systems.
Do I have a second?
Second. Thank you, Mike. The village's 911 servers, which run our computer-aided dispatch records management system, and the mobile communications technology applications are at the end of their life and require replacement. In 2012, the village performed a detailed study to choose our CAD, RMS, and the MCT software to run our 911 system. The study determined that SnugGuard, now Superior Software, would meet our requirement of 99.999% system uptime. The software and servers were implemented, and the 911 system has met that 99.999% uptime requirement for the past 5 years. The Superior Central Square Technologies software utilizes specifically designed servers with patented software and hardware from Stratus Technologies to execute our applications that support our 911 system. We are requesting a like-for-like server replacement from Stratus Technologies to continue to meet our 99.999% uptime performance to ensure public safety. The new servers will also allow the village to upgrade CAD, RMS, and MCT software, leveraging the new operation system technology installed on the servers. Funding is available in the improved FY19 capital project maintenance and is included in the improved FY19 budget. This system was discussed at the Public Safety Committee meeting held on January 8th, 2019. Consensus approved a contract for this purchase of replacement servers for the 911 system for a cost not to exceed $120,000. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Trustee Unker.
Yay.
Trustee Panito.
We didn't get a chance to comment. Just, should I do that first, or?
Yes.
Okay, just to the young man who talked about it, I appreciate your thoughts on it, and, you know, there may be some cost savings. The problem that I have, and my big concern, is putting our 911 system into the cloud just subjects it to other people's interference, and, you know, it's just.
It's a private cloud.
Well, I understand. It's still, the cloud makes me nervous. It's something the village doesn't have control of. But I appreciate your thoughts on it, and if technology matters come up again, please address us on it. Just for the 911, I prefer that's in-house and safe, and nobody else has access to it.
Any other discussion with the board? You start the roll again.
Yes.
Trustee Unker.
Yay.
Trustee Panito.
Yes.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Item number 13, receive comments from the board.
I have, like to say something briefly. Okay. It's come to my attention that some citizens had questions about the agenda creation process. And additionally, at the last board meeting, it became apparent to me that there were some misconceptions even on the board's part about agenda responsibility and creation. So I wanted to take a moment to address these misconceptions via a very short PowerPoint. Copies of the PowerPoint have been placed at all the board members' chairs, and a copy of the pertinent municipal ordinance as well. Is the PowerPoint up? I can't see it. Okay. So first, the first slide concerns the responsibility for agenda creation, namely an excerpt from Chapter 30 of our Municipal Code, Section 3020B. All questions relating to the priority of business shall be decided by the chair without debate, subject to appeal to the Board of Trustees present. And Section 3020 C1 states the village manager shall prepare an agenda for each meeting of the village board, including a consent agenda. With regard to the agenda preparation and creation process, the next slide highlights the pertinent deadlines. The week before the board meeting, the first deadline is Wednesday by 1 p.m. Agenda items submitted to the clerk's office are submitted to the clerk's office. After 1 p.m., they need management approval to be added. Wednesday at 4 p.m., the draft agenda is then sent to the village board and staff members for review. Thursday at 10 a.m. is the deadline for all backup material for items due to the clerk's office for processing. By 4 p.m. on Thursday, the draft agenda comments are due to the clerk's office from board members. And then after that, backup material is reviewed by the manager, and the village manager also approves the agenda material, after which on Friday, once everything is in order, we prepare the final packet and we post the agenda. So we have hard copies of this available for citizens if they would like it, and citizens can also feel free to contact me with any further questions. Thank you.
I'd like to say something, Brian. Go ahead. I'd like to congratulate a old neighbor and friend, Lieutenant Jim Gaskell, retired with 21 years of service. Trustee Brady and myself were there for his walkout ceremony.
Saturday.
And it was pretty emotional for him. 21 years, and just want to thank him for his service.
I'd also say, Chief, I thought maybe you might mention something about this latest rescue that our fine men and women did.
Early this morning, Station 48 and the rest of our companies were dispatched around 9:50 this morning to a dog who had fallen through the ice in a retention pond roughly at 175th and 88th Avenue. Companies arrived on the scene. They properly donned their water rescue equipment there and ventured out onto the ice, utilizing a system of ropes and ladders and different things like that. And firefighter Steve Youthy was able to get out to the dog, retrieve the dog, get him out on a ladder. The little girl was struggling there a little bit to get out of the water, and moved her back out, got her back out to the owner, and with the assistance of the police and our animal control officers, they were able to assess the dog as being okay. Took it to the vet, and very happy to report that Jesse, I believe the dog's name, came by Station 48 to thank the crews personally a little bit later on during the day today, and posed for a nice little picture that we'll make sure we make available a little bit later. But my congrats and thanks to all the crews. Again, the system worked well, and lessons we have to learn from it. But again, the ice is just way too thin for anybody or any animals to be on right now, and just because it's ice covered, don't take that as any measure of safety to put anybody, including small animals, out onto the ice. So, my thanks to the crews, and thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
Any other comments? If not, item number 14. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss the following: the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. B, collective negotiation matters between the public body and its employees or the representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Yonker.
Yay.
Trustee Panito.
Yes.
Trustee Burke.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.